All right, let's talk about one of the most powerful and, honestly, one of the most misunderstood ideas in all of business, the brand. We're going to go way beyond just logos and slogans today. We're going to get into how a brand is really built, from the beliefs inside a company all the way to the final choice a customer makes. And we're going to start with a puzzle, a paradox I see all the time. You have these companies that are just fantastic at what they do. I mean, they're efficient, they execute perfectly, but their brand, it just doesn't connect. It feels kind of blurry, you know? So, that brings us to the big question, right? Why does this happen? If a company is firing on all cylinders, why does its identity in the market still feel so weak or inconsistent? And let me tell you, figuring this out has huge financial implications. Let's just look at the numbers for a second, because this is where a blurry brand becomes a very, very expensive problem. For a lot of companies, over half of their total business value can be tied directly to their brand. Think about that. We're not talking about a small fraction here. We're talking about more than half the reason the company is worth anything at all. And when you get the brand right, oh, the value you create is just staggering. Research shows that brands with high equity, the ones people really connect with, don't just do well. They outperform the MSCI World Index by a whopping 251%. This isn't just about good vibes. It's about delivering absolutely massive financial returns. The data doesn't lie. And one more for you. Companies that have top-of-mind brand awareness, they see on average a 30% higher return on the capital they invest. So the evidence is totally clear. A strong brand is an economic engine. The real question is, how do you actually build one? Well, to understand that, we've got to look inside of the company first. It all begins with an internal engine that quietly drives everything a customer will eventually see, hear, and feel. And this is that engine. It's called the beliefs to choice system, and it's basically a causal chain. See, it all starts with a company's core beliefs. And I'm not talking about some poster on the wall. I'm talking about the deep down principles that actually drive strategic decisions. Those decisions then lead to real-world actions, like how a product gets designed or how a customer service call gets handled. Every single one of those actions sends a signal out into the world, and it's how customers interpret those signals that creates meaning in their minds, which, you guessed it, ultimately influences their final choice to buy from you or from somebody else. And this brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most critical step in this entire chain: meaning. This is so important. Meaning is not what your marketing team hopes to communicate. It's what the customer actually concludes. It's the story they piece together in their own head based on all those little signals you're sending. When the signals are consistent, the brain goes, aha, I get it, and forms a clear, stable picture. So if the company's internal engine is constantly creating all these signals, what are they building out there in the world? Well, they're building something very real and very specific inside the customer's mind. I absolutely love this way of putting it. Your brand isn't just one thing. It's not a single point of light in the sky. It's a whole constellation. It's this beautiful network of connected ideas and feelings that, when you see them all together, form a recognizable pattern. And this visual just perfectly illustrates that idea. The brand literally exists inside the customer's brain as this interconnected web of thoughts. It's a mental object that they can retrieve to make sense of who you are and what you're all about. And this particular model says it's formed by 8 key points of light. 8 stars, if you will. So let's break down these 8 stars really quick. They're actually grouped into 2 sets. On one side, you've got the classics, the 4 Ps of marketing: your product, your price, where you're placed in the market, and how you promote yourself. But then you have the 4 Cs, which give all that context: the category you compete in, your competitors, the nature of your company itself, and the kind of customers you seem to attract. You put those 8 things together, and bam, that's the full picture. Okay, so how does this all fit together? This is where it gets really cool. This is the aha moment, where we connect that internal company engine to the external brand constellation it's creating. Let's put it all together right here. On the left, you have the company's process. Beliefs drive actions, and actions generate signals. Simple enough. On the right, you have the customer's reality. They take in all those signals and use them as building blocks to form that constellation of meaning in their head. It's a direct cause and effect relationship. Your internal actions create their external reality. Let's make this super, super concrete. Every single decision your company makes is lighting up one of those stars. The thought you put into your design and the quality of your engineering, that directly forges the product star. The strategy behind your pricing, Are you a premium brand or a value brand? Well, that creates the price star. Your flashy ad campaigns and your sales team's approach, that's your promotion star. Heck, even something as internal as your company culture and ethics ends up shaping the company star in your customer's mind. Every single action is a signal. And all of this leads to a really powerful and, frankly, unavoidable conclusion about who is actually in charge of the brand. And this, right here, is the biggest takeaway of all. It's the idea that treating brand as just a marketing job is one of the most expensive mistakes you can make. Because every part of the business, finance, HR, operations, R&D, is constantly sending out signals that form that constellation. It can't just be delegated to one department. Building a coherent, powerful brand is a strategic leadership responsibility. It's the sum total of every decision the company makes. So, as we wrap up, I want you to think about your own organization for a second. If you could step outside and look at all the signals you're sending through your products, your pricing, your people, all your actions, what's the picture they create? What story does your constellation really tell?